So between Dave, the Trinity Killer from Dexter, and Kane from Raising Kane, which do you think has the most humanity between them?
Humanity. Wow. Well, they're all human beings. I mean, the terrible truth is all of us is capable of anything. That's the nature of being a human being. It
Mhm.
depends on what has happened to us.
I'm Tyler Nichols with JoBlo.com, and thank you so much for talking with me today. I'm a big fan of you both, and I've always loved the life and death of Peter Sellers, so I was so excited to
Oh,
get a little
thanks.
on-screen reunion between you two.
The script will be shot as written.
Yes, but in the bedrooms.
I mean it.
While that film can get dark, this movie is just a whole different form of dark, especially with Dave Creeley being one of the most evil human beings of all time, and with Stefan being tormented through it all. Does that result in a pretty serious set for you both, or are you still able to find the humor in between takes?
It was a gleeful set. It was really exhilarating. We loved it. First of all, we were surrounded by wonderful actors. All the old people in this care facility were
Yeah.
New Zealand's very best actors, having 50 years behind them in their long careers. And they were having the best time. They were finally being given really good parts as octogenarian actors. And God, were they good. And
Yeah.
and we were all pulling together with this shared vision of this, yes, a horrific story, but a story told with compassion and humor and actually very serious intent.
Who rules? Jenny Payne.
That's right.
I said, but look, this demographic is a very complex one and a very can be for families
Mhm.
can be a very emotional thing. And I said, how are you going to cast it? Because the detail there needs to be so authentic and credible and not damaged in any way.
And yeah, and James came out of acting, directing, and even theater management. He has come to film directing. He's not a young man, but he's come to film directing fairly recently, and it's
Mhm.
simply amazing how accomplished he is as a filmmaker.
Yeah,
He's
I think some of the best directors are definitely come from actors, so
and from theater.
yes, in theater.
Some of these scenes played as if we were rehearsing and performing for the stage.
I'll be better soon. Then I'm gone.
Stay clear of that lot over there. They're nuts.
I've talked to many different actors, and they usually tell me that even when playing a bad guy, they try to find the good in them. So, John, were you able to find any good in Dave?
Oh, yes. I mean, that's a really good question, Tyler. I usually have to introduce that subject. Whenever you play a bad character, to me, it's extremely important to at least find out why. What is it this man fears? How has he been damaged? What is it that motivates him to be cruel and to be vengeful and to try to compensate? And it was a very interesting process with the character of Dave because Dave is so diabolical. He really is the most maniacally cruel character I have ever played, to the point where I was scared to even take it on. I felt there was something missing in Dave's story, something that was not being told. You didn't quite find the motivation for all this. And among other things, James sent me the original short story that Owen Marshall had written that Jenny Penn is adapted from. I found this little episode, this little anecdote where Dave, as a young man, had sort of spotted the judge making a self-important speech at a fancy banquet. And I said, can that somehow be worked into the script toward the end of the film? because that way we would have something to explain why. And then I pictured the moment you see in the film, the moment when Dave first sees the judge. And I thought through in my mind, what must he be thinking? My God, he has come into my world where I can have my way with him. The object of his obsession for his entire life suddenly is at his disposal. And I thought, wow, now I've got it. Now I've got this character.
What's going to happen is you'll get worse and worse till you can't speak or even lift a finger. But that's if you can still think straight enough to know what kind of hell you're in.
For a bit of fun, so between Dave, the Trinity killer from Dexter, and Cain from Raising Cain, which do you think has the most humanity between them?
Humanity, wow. Well, they're all human beings. I mean, the terrible truth is all of us is capable of anything. That's the nature of being a human being. It depends on what has happened to us, how we've been damaged.
Revenge is such a powerful. Did you ever do any of the great Jacobean plays when you were in the theater?
Only as we did a great reading of Women Beware Women on the radio.
Right. There was that whole period after the sunniness, let's say, of the Elizabethan era, where there was Shakespeare wrote so many fantastic comedies as well as tragedies. So it's interesting to see that this man sat for 40 years or more of this perceived privilege of this judge, and he wanted to have it out.
Yeah, that's amazing too, because so there's with Miss like Stefan having the stroke, he has such a powerless, like his nature becomes so powerless and his faculties are diminished. And so why do you think it's so important to see Stefan in that more arrogant state at the very beginning of the movie?
Well, I don't know. People have used the word arrogant. I just see that he has a very strong moral compass. He is, I would say, his father was a lawyer. His father was probably a judge. I went back to his, grandfather. I thought, well, Mortensen sounds Danish. And there was a judge, a Hungarian judge, still in Auckland that I read about. And I thought, yeah, I like that kind of European heritage, which within an Anglo-Maori kind of world would have been an outsider, and that he, and I based the look of the character on Arthur Rubinstein. I wanted him, the pianist, the Polish pianist. I just wanted him to have a kind of European detachment and a belief in the structure of law as the glue that holds society together.
Yeah. But time, it seems, has awarded me certain advantages. Be a waste not to honor that, don't you think?
And dealt with
common good.
Yeah, dealt with in a great way that gives us audience a lot of satisfaction, because he was just such a bad dude. But thank you so much for this. I'm all out of time with you guys. Thank you so much. This was a great chat.
Okay, mate. Thanks.
Thank you. We're so glad you liked it.
He's the menace here. He's been at me from the jump.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. JoBlo was created by movie fans for movie fans, and we appreciate your support.